Everybody, it is Sunday evening, and I'm back. Welcome to the Sunday Hangover show, where I only run it if I've been gone for quite some time. Folks, as you guys know, my dear Uncle George passed away. I drove about 6 hours down to Seaboard, North Carolina. In case you're wondering why I have makeup on, I forgot to wipe that off. I had some cordial activities with, well, you know who. You've seen the video. So I actually now notice that I do have makeup all over my face. Hers. But, you know, that's how we get down. I'm not going to wipe it off or anything. Actually, I do need to wipe it off. It looks pretty bad. Hang tight. I will be right back. Oh, God. Yeah, folks, I just didn't realize that. I got my water cup given to me by my good friend Pugman in the living room. But in the meantime, let's get this makeup off my face. So you guys know pretty much what I was doing. She was there to cheer me up. Now, folks, when you're removing makeup from a tan after cordial activities, this is why you always want to keep makeup remover in case something like this happens. See? And then, of course, because it dries out the face, I look a lot better now. Well, that was very awkward, folks. So, in any event, get your questions in. Yo, everyone here? Okay. I don't know what happened here. Kind of odd. It was saying for some reason or other my stream was finished. So I gotta see what happened. So, you know, that would actually explain why all those people were looking at me funny at the grocery store and at the cigar shop. I wish someone had told me I had makeup all over my fucking face. I guess they thought I was snorting crack or something. Yeah, it looks like my stream restarted itself. It closed and then restarted. So let's get this back up here. All right, let's get the water cup, give it to me by my good friend Pugman, and then we're gonna get started. So, folks, before we begin, we got to give a 1 minute moment of silence for two legends, my Uncle George and Chuck Norris. So, 1 minute of silence, folks. 1 moment of silence. And Dennis Condrey. Sorry about that. So 1 minute of silence for my Uncle George, for Dennis Condrey. And in case you guys don't know, Dennis Condrey is part of the Midnight Express, Loverboy, Dennis Condrey. And Chuck Norris. So 1 minute of silence. All right, folks. Now we are gonna play the new John Bravo video in just a minute, but other than that, I wish someone had said I had makeup all over my face before I left. No wonder that lady was looking at me weird. Oh well. But you would expect people to tell you stuff like that, and everything. Oh, I got some mangoes too. Mm. Yes, Robert Molnar died. Veteran, U.S. Army veteran. Mm. Despite what Trump says, he was a good guy. That's my opinion. He was a good guy. No one can take that from him.
Hi Tiki Toki Cooks Piers Morgan.
Matt with a $3 donation. Definitely appreciate that. Well, I need a little energy, Chuck E. Cheese, from having cordial relations and stuff. That's why I had all that makeup all over me. What's it like being old internet fitness being replaced by Sulik and clavicular? I think it's great, Time marches on.
You know what?
I mean, I had my time, and now it's the young folks' time. That's just the way it is, really.
I'm not doing this. Sorry, guys. It's pointless.
I respect guys, yeah, that have their own opinions, right? But I don't really respect, you trying to come on and say, "Oh, I'm homophobic," and try and really push that point when I wouldn't say I'm homophobic at all.
I understand that, but I'm curious why you don't think disowning a child for being gay is homophobic.
What I do with my children is up to me. What I do with my children is up to me.
Of course. Okay? Of course.
I don't agree with you going to Epstein's Island and having freak-offs with Ghislaine Maxwell and the rest of them. But I don't need to bring it up. I've never been to Epstein's this is about Island. Misogyny.
Just to be clear,
you see, that's the thing I have to say. Everyone that's on any name that's mentioned on there, even Whoopi Goldberg, everyone thinks that these people went to Epstein Island. There was only a few people that did.
Thing like this.
Harrison. Okay. Harrison.
Okay. I don't agree with that,
just
sir.
To be clear, just to be clear.
Freak-offs on the island.
Yes, nor do I. And as is a
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Do you want to keep doing this? You'll make yourself look very stupid.
Are you sure, Piers? Oh, really? Really? Yes. To people like you, sir, I don't mind that. You make yourself look like an idiot every single day when your wife is at home posting pictures that you're out and she wants to get used like a toy by a big black man.
Oh my God, what is wrong with him?
Who's cleaning her car. Is that why you have a problem with me? Is that why you're pushing this homophobic narrative? Because I'm the big black man that shagged your wife while you are on holiday. Okay? We can all have a push and a shove, sir. Let's go back to talking about the documentary and less of the homophobia.
Do you know what? Here's what I think about you. I watched the documentary. I think you're a fucking idiot. I think you're a sexist, misogynist, homophobic twerp. I don't care less about your silly little insults. It's like a 2-year-old. Why would I care?
A 2-year-old? A 2-year-old? Listen, sir, I don't know why you come on and you talk like you're holier than thou. As soon as you're away,
all right,
who's this? Applications are open.
All right, let's just
that's your ting, bro. That's your girl.
Let's end this. You know what? I'm not doing this.
Oh boy. That was very interesting. But again, thanks for the donation. We're gonna keep the stream open until 7:15. So, because we do got some stuff to cover. Yeah, it's always good to get some carbohydrates in after a very hearty cardio session. But I really should have looked in the mirror. These mangoes are pretty good. In any event, let's start with the new John Bravo video. I have wigs for bitches.
Further, the defendant told her if the police were to have arrived at the residence, she needed to tell police she slipped on the rug at the residence. Throughout the altercation, the victim stated the defendant held her hostage.
With all those bruises, ain't no way he slipped on a rug. Oh yeah, I forgot about Halloween. I did wear 2 wigs. Okay, you got me there, Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, I've worn wigs and dresses before. Only a true piss trooper has worn wigs and dresses.
And would not let her leave. So as we already know, Peggy Watson, that woman beating piece of shit, was charged with 5 felonies in the state of Florida for beating the shit out of a girl like the coward we all know he is. And the next day, he was in court thinking he's gonna get out on bail, $115,000, right? Well, what happened was, the piece of shit, I think he paid it, thinking he's gonna get out. But then, the judge from the other case with the monster revoked his bail, so I'm hoping that asshole wasted his money and he's...
Well, he can technically get his bail money back, but he is never going to see the light of day. It's over with for him.
Still sitting there. And now, all the details from the crime just came out in the police report. And when I tell you this is some sick, crazy shit, because we all know how much of a sick, crazy asshole this guy is, right? Well, now you're going to see it firsthand when I read you all these details. Wait until you hear this shit. Are you guys ready to hear what this piece of shit did to this girl? It's long, but wait until you hear this. All right, on Saturday, March 14th, the victim went to a Miami Heat basketball game with her female friend. After the game, the defendant picked her up from her friend's house and they went to his residence. At this point, it was approximately 06 hours on Sunday, March 15th. While they were at his residence, the victim stated the defendant received a text message of a screenshot of her and her friend while at the Heat game. Remember that little clip I showed where she was showing her tits, but I had to crop it so I don't get in trouble on YouTube? That's the one he's talking about.
I can't believe he did this all over a game to where she was showing her tits that he bought.
The defendant confronted her about her whereabouts as she had not disclosed. She had gone to the game with her friend. The defendant, which is Peggy, began yelling at the victim, explaining he paid for her boob job, that she was disrespectful for having her boobs out, and that those are my boobs, also accusing her of cheating on him. See, the asshole, he thinks because he put the tits in her, that he owns them, the asshole. The victim further elaborated this when the defendant freaked out and against her will forcefully grabbed her by the neck and told her,
by the way, folks, I bet you this wedding is over with.
"You stupid little bitch, that's where you were?" The victim could not remember if the defendant held her with 1 or 2 hands, but this caused bruising to her neck area right and left. So the asshole's so insecure about her going to the basketball game, he goes and he chokes her and tells her, "You little bitch, how dare you go to a basketball."
Oh, he's never getting out. That's it for him. He's not getting out under any circumstances. This is the Wes Watson experiment is over with.
basketball game and show your tits. What a fucking asshole. The defendant began to rattle and shake her by grabbing both of her arms forcefully. He continued to push, grab her by her hair, and slam her on the floor. The defendant then dragged the victim by her hair on the floor and later pinned her up against the kitchen table. He pushed and grabbed, manhandling the victim's face, causing a scratch to the victim's right cheek. The victim stated the defendant forcefully pinned her back against the table, causing her back to bend and hurt. The defendant began yelling at the victim, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you and your whole family."
And you see, that's why they're not going to let him out on bail, or they shouldn't. Only a dumb judge would do that. He threatened to kill her entire family.
He continued to push the victim back down on the floor with force, picked her back up, and forcefully against her will sat the victim down in a chair. During the defendant's physical abuse towards the victim, she yelled, "Help me, get him off of me." Then they state there was 2 or 3 other witnesses who were present inside the residence. The victim elaborated that nobody did anything to help her or get the defendant to stop. It should be noted the victim is approximately 5'1" and weighs 125 pounds, while the defendant is 6'1" and weighs 245
Oh, bullshit. He ain't 6'1".
pounds. That mother is not no 6'1". He's 5'8", and he's probably 170 pounds now, that little bitch. It was at this point the victim elaborated that the defendant then grabbed her with his right hand by her hair and then slammed her head down into the kitchen table. This mother took her head and put it on the table. This caused the victim to sustain a cut to her forehead, which began bleeding profusely. The victim advised she was in a state of shock when she believed she had momentarily blacked out and lost consciousness. The victim explained her memory was fuzzy afterwards, so the mother probably gave her a concussion, the bitch. The victim advised it was then the defendant stopped beating on her and snatched her cell phone out of her hands.
This is crazy. I mean, you got beatings and then you got basically kidnapping and holding someone hostage.
Holding a plate, the defendant threatened to break the plate on top of her head, told her he would grab a bottle and slash it across her face, break it on her head, and then told her he would kick her face in. And that reminds me, I've spoken to people that have worked for him. I'm not going to mention any names. And they told me stories. They'd be sitting there, they're working, right, minding their own business. And he would just come and out of nowhere, just kick them and be like, "Get to work, you piece of shit, asshole." So this guy's a crazy. The defendant then told the victim to drink.
If he had done that, I would have just left and I would have beaten his ass and I would have sued him for everything that he had.
Drink, while forcefully pouring alcohol down her throat. It was at this point the defendant told his live-in assistant, which we know that Jose, that butler little bitch, clean her up. She doesn't stop bleeding, for which Jose cleaned her cut and then glued her forehead injury. It was also at this point the defendant gave his friend, who was another witness to the incident, the victim's cell phone. The defendant had his friend look through her text messages, photos, social media to make sure she is not cheating.
That is some straight up jealousy. Oh my God.
Unidentified friend began instigating the defendant and his physical actions towards the victim. The third witness was the defendant's security guard, who told the victim to take accountability for her actions of wearing a shirt which exposed her breasts. So this asshole security guard is sitting there and telling her she shouldn't be going out to a basketball game showing her tits. What kind of world is this? When I have a girl and I'm with her, I want her to look as sexy as she can, so people look at me and be like, "That's a lucky mother."
That's the same way with my tan. Hell.
What's wrong with these assholes? The defendant did not allow the victim to utilize her cell phone or to call anyone. The victim was forced by the defendant to tell her cousin she got the scratch on her cheek from derma peeling. Further, the defendant told her if the police were to have arrived at the residence, she needed to tell police she slipped on the rug at the residence. Throughout the altercation, the victim stated the defendant held her hostage and would not let her leave. The victim tried to leave the residence, but the defendant feared she would contact police, and due to being on parole, he could not allow it. The defendant continued to verbally abuse and yell at her. So about not letting her leave, listen, this sick did it with his employees too. Like the people that worked with him, they told me they weren't allowed to leave the house at all. and he would do the same shit to them. The victim eventually fell asleep, and upon waking the next day, she wanted to leave the defendant's residence, but he would not let her leave.
See, that's kidnapping right there. That is crazy.
The defendant continued to tell the victim she could not leave because her face was messed up, and you have to stay here for more days until your face heals up. So he was trying to keep her there to heal up her face so that way nobody would see it. The defendant told her if she went home, her parents would call the police on him, and I can't go to jail.
Well, he should have thought of that before he started beating her. I mean, seriously.
The defendant further stated, if I go to jail, something bad is going to happen to you, all your friends, and your family. The defendant further implied he would have girls jump the victim in order to ruin her reputation. The defendant further told the security guard, make sure she doesn't run, and had him stand by the door and...
Man, that security guard's in deep trouble. I mean, everyone that was involved in that is in deep trouble, not just Wes Watson.
Effort to keep the victim from leaving the residence. So that asshole security guard and Jose both took part in this shit. They should be getting charged too, those pieces of shit. Most of the following day, she elaborated the defendant had monitored her incoming text messages. He would give her the phone briefly and told her she needed to tell people she was okay and text them back. Other times, the defendant would act as if he was her and send text messages on her behalf, pretending to be her. I'm okay. I'm going to sleep. So this little bitch takes her phone, pretends to be her, and texts all the people texting her. I had a crazy ex-girlfriend that did that shit to me. This guy's out of his mind. She advised she stealthily took possession of her cell phone as it was on the table while the defendant was getting dressed. The defendant threatened her by telling her, if you want to keep your family safe, don't call the police. While the victim was seated in a chair, he lifted the chair with such force, he dropped the victim on the floor. So he picked up the chair while she's sitting in it and smashes her down. What the he thinks he's in the WWE, this asshole? The incident of physical abuse lasted approximately...
I hate to say this, Chuck E. Cheese, but the assault from the 7-foot monster, that's actually now the least of his worries.
Approximately 40 minutes, but led into the following day. 2 days of this hell? During this time, the victim was scared and afraid of the defendant. She believed he was capable of killing her, and then himself, as he said such to her. The victim stated the defendant does have firearms in the residence, but was unsure how many. And then they show here, wow, so it's listing all the different injuries she had. And like I said, I seen the ones on her face, but I didn't see all this shit. This mother... He's a monster. Look at this shit. Bruises on right shoulder, bruise on left shoulder, large dark bruise underneath the right breast. Yeah, he was trying to cut it out, the asshole, with his hands. Further, it's clear the defendant struck the victim against her will, causing several injuries and causing the victim to lose consciousness, forcibly striking the victim's face against the table, imprisoned the victim by both threat and violence, and confined her at his residence without letting the victim leave, threatened to hurt the victim while holding a plate, and after already committing battery against her, depriving the victim of the cell phone after snatching it from her hands and preventing the victim from communicating with law enforcement. The defendant has been charged accordingly. So yeah, this guy, honestly, he's worse than what I thought he was. Because we always said, you know, we see him go crazy on camera and shit, like what happens behind closed doors. But after reading this shit, I mean, I don't see him ever coming out of prison. There's no way. And I spoke to people who were at the house. There's security cameras outside. I think some of this took place out there, so who knows what the cops saw. I think there's only one in the house, but I don't know what that picked up. But yeah, this guy is a fucking monster, and I think this is the last we're going to see of Wes Watson.
Oh, we're going to see more of him, but we're not going to see him a free man, that's for sure.
And babe, you know this new studio move? Do you know what kind of a pain in the ass this is? I haven't been able to film a video for days. But you know what else I've been doing for days? Remember this top T shit? Well, it's some crazy shit. Wait until I show you later what it's doing to me. I'm gonna turn you into my Sharmuta.
Another great one from Johnny Bravo. That's just money right there. I mean, really. I don't know. He's going to max. He's definitely going to max. He has a previous charge, and then he has this. I mean, he's not going to ADX there, but he's going to a max. That's for sure. Medium or max. Definitely not minimum security, and he's going to spend the rest of his life there. He will. This is it for Wes Watson. He will never be a free man ever again. He's going to remain behind bars. And of course, I got to play this first here. Hold on. Now I'm going to show you this, folks. And this is pretty brutal. Now, folks, I've always said things about good police work and bad police work, but this is an example of Chris Rock's saying that if the police has to chase you, they're bringing an ass whooping with them. Period.
Give me your hands! Show me your hands! Put your hands behind your back! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! You are... Show me your hands now! Give me your hands now! Give me your hands! Show me your hands! Hands! Put your hands behind your back! Show me your hands! I will kill you! Put your hands behind your back now! Give me your hands!
That nigga getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, we're going to make their own foot somewhere. 377. Get so...
Yeah, he was put on 6 months leave without pay, and he subsequently resigned. And, of course, naturally he was charged. But in any event, let me make sure... Don't forget, folks, we are streaming on Kick simultaneously, so don't forget about that. But, man, that was a straight-up ass whooping there. But we got a couple of things we got to play here, so... Yeah, that nigga got his ass whooped, you know?
Hell,
he got one of them good Alabama beatings. Now, I got to play this one here because... This is going to be Wes Watson night. I'm going to put it to you this way here. A lot of Wes Watson stuff.
Hey, you guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about Jose and The Bodyguard and the role they both played in Megan's...
Clavicular gets slapped.
Matty Matt with a $3 donation. Definitely appreciate it. Because I got a... The cost to travel all the way down there is ginormous. Plus, my windshield wiper motor broke in there, so I got to fix that too.
see your entire family. It was nice to meet you. Actually, it was nice to meet you. I see you. You're getting sued for assault. I'm gonna press charges on you. Hey. Hold your ear, call the police. Hold your ear, call the police. Hold her, get the police. Hey. Grab it. What's up? What happened? Get her. Call the police.
What the heck? Oh yeah, be sure to thank Pugman as well. Water cup, everything. But yeah.
Fuck you, bitch! I see your entire family. It was nice to meet you. Actually, it was nice to meet you. I see you. You're getting sued for assault. I'm gonna press charges on you. Hey. Hold your ear, call the police. Hold your ear, call the police. Hold her, get the police. Hey. Grab it. What's up? What happened? Get her. Call the police. Go, get the police, please.
Can I get a picture with you?
Police.
No, just a drunk lady. So, yeah, drunk white girl syndrome. No, that was not that was not fake. That was for real. But again, Matt, thanks for the donation. I definitely appreciate that.
Assault. Since Wesley's bitch-ass mom, Sherry, has decided to come into my comment section trying to spin the story and defend her son, saying Jose has a different
everyone's mama knows if they're no good or not.
Video, insinuating that Jose, has a different version of events of what happened. So since Sherry wants to talk about Jose, let's talk about Jose. That way he knows who to thank for this video. Now, before we get into all of that, I just want to start off this video by sharing love, prayers, and healing to Megan. I seriously can't even imagine what she must be going through right now. Not even just, dealing with this event that's been so incredibly traumatic, but also having the entire internet talking about it. That's a lot for anyone, period, especially for someone so young. And I feel like that's what's getting lost in all of this as this story continues to spread and go viral. The conversation has been centered around Wes and how awful and what a monster he is, and he is, don't get me wrong, but most of us already knew that. What's getting overlooked in all of this is that at the center of this story is a beautiful young
I'm trying to think whether this lady is AI or not. I really don't know.
Woman who just went through something incredibly traumatic, and nobody deserves to go through what she just experienced. And I just want to say that she should be incredibly proud of herself right now. She had the courage to stand up.
But yeah, I thought she was AI or not, but then I see the edits here, so
for herself and finally get this asshole arrested. Because of her courage, who knows, she may have just, saved another woman from experiencing this very same thing. Now, on to bitch ass Jose.
Matt B.
How many people had to warn Jose that he was way in over his head, thinking he's so cool, posting up with his cars, posting up with his jewelry, bragging on the internet as though these were his belongings. I feel like we all warned him once he started flexing on the gram that this wasn't going to end well for him. We all told him that Wes was bad news. And as the Titanic started sinking, instead of, doing the smart thing that any other person would do with more than half a brain cell and, grab a life raft and...
Well, I thought of it at first. This was a while back there, Ryan, until I saw the editing that was done. And then I realized she was a real person.
Save yourself? No. He decided to sink with the West ship like the pudgy, good little bitch butler boy he is. And we're going to get into all of it. But as for the bodyguard, his bodyguard this time was a character that goes by Lion Pack Protection on Instagram. Not to be...
Yeah, Jose's gonna get charged too.
Confused with Yo-Yo. I know a lot of people already know Yo-Yo has been Wes's bodyguard for a long time, and yeah, they look a lot alike. They even claim to be cousins, but according to a source, they're not blood related at all. From what I've been told, Yo-Yo was actually injured about a month ago, and because of this, Lion Pack Protection has been filling in, which would make him the one who was there that night. Now, interestingly enough, Lion Pack Protection has his comments turned off, which, I mean, take that how you will, but let's be very clear. That does not mean Yo-Yo is off the hook. Even though he wasn't physically there the night of Megan's assault, go ahead and take a look at what he decided to post after Wes was arrested. He posted a video of the two of them all cuddled up together looking super cutesy, saying, "Let the haters hate and the doubters doubt. The real will always prevail. My family for life." And as if that was...
I hate it when people say that type of stuff. It's effeminate.
enough, he also posted this clip from The Office saying bros before hoes.
Before hoes. Why? Because your bros are always there for you.
So yeah, cute. Now you know who the bodyguard was that night, but don't go anywhere because we have another character to introduce in just a second. So in my last video, I said that Jose and the bodyguard just sat back and did nothing. And what I meant by that was that they didn't do anything to intervene. They didn't help her out, but turns out they actually did do something. Oh, you thought I was gonna say they helped her? Oh, no. Jose, and I do hope that he is watching this right now, Jose stood in front of the door, blocking the exit so Megan couldn't escape when she was being brutally...
You see, that's what's going to get him in trouble. That's exactly what's going to get him in trouble. I mean, he's just about as a cooked duck as Wes Watson.
Assaulted, he blocked the door, preventing her from getting out of the house. So let me paint this picture for you guys really quick. Megan is being brutally assaulted by a man more than twice her size. She is screaming, she's crying, she's being dragged, she's being hit, she's begging for help, she's yelling out for help. And as she tries to escape, Jose, instead of, calling out for help, instead of stopping Wes, instead of saying, hey man, that's a little too much. Let's maybe not do that. No, he blocks the door. This is so sick, you guys. It is so fucking sick. Jose, you fucking disgust me. I hope you know that. And keep in mind, I keep reiterating this, but this is when she was just a couple days out from surgery. She wasn't even feeling good as it is. Wes decides to hurt her. Jose decides to participate in this. Do you even have a soul? Now, yesterday, I posted my video right when...
Yeah, if I was there, if I was doing security, cops would be called immediately. I would lose my sled card. And I'm sure Florida has a similar thing as far as a sled card is concerned. No, I wouldn't risk it. Plus, he's going to get charged too.
And I heard that Wes had finally been arrested and they were still speaking with Jose. And I was under the impression that Jose was also going to be arrested that night. Now, we're just going to have to wait and see what ends up coming from that and, what ends up happening with Jose and all of that. Now, I told you guys I had another character to introduce. So take a good look. This right here is Thomas Guillen. He goes by T from Houston on social media. And Thomas, I know you're really paranoid right now. I know you're calling all of Wes's friends, trying to figure out what they know. I know you're putting your grubby little feelers out, trying to figure out if people know the role you played in all of this. And I want you to be paranoid because I know exactly what you and Jose did.
Hey, Ryan, would you hit this?
So guys, let's get into this. The day that...
Would you hit this? Is this some sort of softening filter or something? I don't know if this is a filter or not, but she's got some melons on her, that's for sure.
Megan finally went to the ER. After all of this happened, after Wes had already held her hostage for over 24 hours, Megan was trying to leave and go to the ER.
He lifted the Durian Rider ban? Really? He's had that thing up there for like a decade.
Vince, you need a tennis racket, tennis emoji, with that outfit.
I just threw something on, really. I didn't know it was going to be hot or cold outside. So, yeah. If I was going to actually wear the sweater out, I would choose a different color shirt than this. But I definitely do appreciate the donation. All right, Ryan.
And Thomas Guillen blocked the door that day. He pulled a Jose and blocked the door so that Megan couldn't get out and her ride couldn't come in and get her. Now, I think that all of these scumbags deserve to be held accountable for this, but I have no part in that. There's nothing I can really do, but I would like to make sure that everybody knows the part they played in all of this, because like I said in my last video, I had a hunch that they were going to get away with this scot-free. I was hoping.
A hunch? They were not going to get away. There was no chance they were getting away with this. No chance.
That Jose was going to get arrested that day, but since he didn't, I just don't really want to see his face smiling on social media, pretending like, he didn't do anything, pretending like he has a video of a different story like Sherry wants to claim. Megan deserves justice, and I want to say this clearly. She had the courage to do something that many others who, have been in similar situations were not able to do for whatever reason. And then she found the strength to actually press charges. And this isn't meant to shame anyone at all. If anything, it just highlights how difficult these situations can be, how many times, women don't report things like this because they're in fear for their lives, which is exactly why she should be so proud of herself. And please, guys, give her her space. Please respect her privacy. Don't reach out to her or anyone involved. I think what, she would want right now is healing and just some space and probably some time off social media. Who knows? Watching those videos of her earlier today, the videos where she first met Wes and how cute and sweet and loving and affectionate she was just completely all over him at the beginning of their relationship. And then you watch the progression.
No, she was just there for the money. Just like some other skank would.
Of the relationship, as short as it was, and you see a shift.
I'm streaming for about an hour. I gotta call my mama and Sarah. Just the funeral may be over, but family, I still got a lot of family people calling, and then there's settling of the will and the execution and everything like that, so I'm going to be busy for the next week, but I'm going to stream back again Tuesday. But I wanted to do a Sunday stream just to catch up on everything instead of having to wait till Tuesday.
You see her light dim. You see her become more withdrawn.
But the stream will end at 8:15. Or will end at actually 8:16. 8:16.
Drawn, more distant, more out of it. The same sweet, loving, affectionate girl starts to look cold.
In fact, I'm kind of late calling my mama up there, but no worries.
Detached, almost like a completely different person. It was honestly so heartbreaking to watch. I almost started crying earlier when I was looking back at those old kick streams, but you guys know already that I'm a sensitive little bitch. And even that horrible night, she goes back over to Wes's after he was just threatening her and her loved ones, thinking that, she could smooth things over with him, that she can cheer him up, that she can make him get over this so she can finally sleep peacefully. She never in a million years could have known what she was about to walk into. I just hope that, her family is able to take legal action against him, hold him
Why doesn't she do it? She's a fucking adult.
Accountable financially, because they at least deserve that. It's not going to undo what Megan went through or do anything to take away her trauma, but at the very least, it's some form of accountability. She deserves at least that much. Now, we already know Wes was on a pre-trial bond for what he did to that guy in the gym, but now that his charges have come out, he is facing 5 felony charges. And since, I don't know anything about prison and the legal system in Florida or anything like that, I have collaborated with Jay-Z, I have collaborated with JD Delay so he can explain to us what this realistically looks like for Wes moving forward. I'm grateful and excited that he agreed to actually do this. So I have a video coming out on that. And guys, you know what really gets me? Seeing him out and about, driving around like nothing happened, doing a Q&A, acting, like everything's fine. Also, him posting a video of him and Megan. He posted this video of him and Megan, the back of them out, I think it was like out by the pool, knowing what he had just done to her hours prior to this. And at this time, police had already been to his house. I'm sure he saw it on his Ring doorbell cam when he was out clubbing that night. And, they spent the whole next day. They went to go look for him. Who knows where he was? He was out and about enjoying his day, out fucking eating, posting, Instagram stories. Seeing just how nonchalant he was the entire day after he had just done something so heinous and brutal to this young girl. It's just really, really unhinged, crazy, psychopathic behavior. And look at just how cracked out he looks in this mugshot. I mean, he seriously...
He has that, he has that I am so fucked face, which he is really.
He looks like a demon. And like I said, I'm going to have a video coming out very soon. I was going to save it. I was going to say I'm going to have a special guest, but I just spilled the beans. I'm going to have JD Delay on to explain to all of us, his charges and what he can expect to go through and the time he's going to have in prison. Let's just say I'm not wishing him a very cozy stay behind bars. I just know that the come down is going to be crazy in there. Hope he enjoys it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. I mean, he'll be lucky if he gets 25 years. And remember, folks, Wes Watson is the same age as I am. 25 years before he's eligible for parole. He's going to be almost 75 years old. Literally. He's not getting out. He just isn't. Now, folks, I do want to show you this here. Hold on just a minute. Bear with me just a minute here. I already sent it to Ryan. He'll be a bottom. Definitely a bottom. All right. I know you guys wanted to see this here. I'm only going to show the portion where I'm in it. So, all right. It was a pretty good service, folks. All right, let's see. Right. All right, folks, let's go ahead and watch it here. See, a church actually live streamed the part of the funeral procession. I'm over here on the side because that's the reserve section for the pallbearer, so. Yeah, my boy Calvin was throwing them keys like a mug. Look at him just doing that lean back. That's all right there, folks. So, get your questions in, folks. Now, Now, the difference between me showing a funeral and my cousin being engaged is mine's going to be very respectful. So, here's where I'm coming around right here, so... That's me in the white shirt right there. So we got to inspect everything. Of course, I'm saying goodbye to my uncle. And afterwards, they're gonna... That's me right there, so yeah. You're not going to see that in that shirt there, that's for sure. So, and then I posted one more short of me at my Uncle George's place. This is where we used to live, folks. All right? The cotton field. So, I'm going to break this down for you. All right. So, this section here... Now, it's March right now, so nothing's growing. But this here is where all the peanuts grow. For some reason or another, I guess this was right after the funeral. Me and my boy Calvin and Tim or DJ Mighty Mouse, we came out there. And we thought we'd shoot some shots of my Uncle George's old place here. So, before he went to the nursing home. I just had that was a big shirt there, Junk Tube. I mean, I had a white dress shirt on. And there's not that many that actually fit someone my size, so no. So this here is the peanuts right here, okay? That's where the peanuts grew. Now, this section that's crossing down that goes right behind the house, that's where the corn grows, actually. That's where the corn, so when my cousin says, "Where's the freaking corn at?" It's right here. That's where the corn is. And that's going to be planted pretty soon. But right now it's March, so you're not going to see anything, really. This here is my Uncle George's place. You know, still looks exactly the same. As I left it 30-some years ago. Y'all wanted to see the cotton field. Nothing's growing up there just yet. Now, the cotton field is, the corn grows up until this point right here, and then the cotton field starts that way. It's the house we stayed in. The only thing that's changed is this dish was put in. That's it. This portion right here. This spot right here. Now, you see, this here is actually a well. And we would usually... this is also where we would clean the deer, basically. So we would put the deer on top of here. You know, and then we have that... we hoist up the pole with the deer, and then the spigot here we use in order to clean it there. So this is where we cooked and cleaned. This is where we cleaned the deer, in other words. Now, folks, if you're wanting to know where the master lives, well, stand right here. Where we cooked and killed, we killed and cleaned the deer, basically, right there. And this here is Mr. Taylor's place here. Well, that's part of his farm. He used to have my entire family working there for, gosh, decades. I don't know how far back. Probably since the slavery days there, folks. I'm kidding you not there. That's Mr. Taylor's farm right there. You know, and even though it's been 40 years, that's Mr. Taylor's farm. No matter what, even 40 years later, he always has a donkey there just to eat the grass. He doesn't have a lawnmower. He just has that. Just one donkey there, you know. No, he wasn't no slave master or anything like that. My family worked for him. My Uncle George worked for him. I worked for him. Everybody worked for Mr. Taylor, you know. And I actually met him at the funeral, too. I mean, he put money in my pocket. How am I going to hate on him? But yeah, that's part of Miss Taylor's farm. You see, everything started phasing out. You know, my mom and everyone else picked cotton for him. They got played plenty decent for the 40s and 50s and 60s and everything. But then once the machinery came in, there was less work, of course, obviously. But my Uncle George stayed, fixed up a couple things, maintenance and stuff, you know. That damn horse is still here, but everything still looked the same there, fellow piss troopers. Everything looked the same. Now, this section right here, some of the one time me and my cousin were playing out here, and at the time it was a little bit more divoted, and we actually got burned because the chemical overrun from the peanuts, because you got to keep the moles out, ran into there, and we got burned like a motherfucker. Got burned up. So this is it. Now, these were peanuts, actually, and a little further up was the cotton. And then cotton right here, so. But that's it, folks. That's that real country, isn't it? Yes, sir. You don't get to see that every day, but that's quite all right there. 10 minutes, folks. Get your questions in. Gotta call mama up. He was an employer, but everyone called him Mr. Taylor. Even the white folks called him Mr. Taylor. So I saw him and Miss Taylor, Mrs. Taylor. Mr. Taylor actually came to the funeral. And you probably noticed I call him Mr. Taylor. That's the only name I've known him as a kid there, you know. And the people that worked for him called him Mr. Taylor. If he put money in your pocket, you better call him Mr. Taylor. All right? No, he didn't have no Confederate flag. He was mostly about the civil rights and integration. He didn't, you know. Now, you know, as far as, you know, he still had the same typical values of a typical Southern white man or anything like that, but he respected his peoples, you know, and stuff like that. He was a nice guy, you know. He was nice to me, you know. But no, there was no Confederate flags waving around there, so. But y'all wanted to see the spot there, you know, and in that farmland, you know, there was a cotton bale, and we would crush that cotton there, you know, and stuff. That cotton, I'm gonna tell you right now, that cotton was money, folks. That was some straight money, and I got paid $5 an hour back in 1980, back in the 80s, folks. And for a kid my age and my cousin Brandon Wayne's age, that's money, folks. All right, that's money. You can get a candy bar for 25 cents. I mean, seriously. You can get what you want for it. I mean, $5 an hour. You got $100 in your pocket. I mean, damn. So why not call him Mr. Taylor, you know? But he actually came to the funeral, and that was all right of him there, so. Well, that's Mr. Taylor's house there. He owns that, and he actually rents it out to somebody else here. So he now rents it out. That was never my Uncle George's house. He rented it from him for maybe $100 a month at the time or so. Of course, obviously they're gonna stay in it because because of the price there itself. He never went up there. I mean, it isn't mortgage fixed there, you know, because he did the maintenance work and that was part of it. Now, my granddaddy, Plumber Senior, he lived on those same farms too as Mr. Taylor. Like I said, the Taylor family goes way, way, way back, just as long as my family goes back. And he was only paying $20 a month for his house. Now, that house is long torn down. But he continued paying for it. He didn't fix it up there. He just kept it the way it was. I used to call that a broken down house and everything, you know. But, you know, there weren't no rats running around. You know, Grammy Thelma used to put down the that borax and stuff. Rats wouldn't want to come around that. Yeah, I got it. I got her Instagram profile. Oh, quick pump. Me and Tim and Calvin, we were smoking Black and Miles in the funeral procession. That's why I was riding with them. Because we was the only one we was smoking cigars through the procession, coming up there and going back home. Alan with a $10 donation, or anonymous. Definitely appreciate that. Appreciate the donation there. That's gonna definitely go towards the expenses and everything there. So I definitely appreciate that. Y'all give a shout out for Anonymous or Alan. Yeah, alright, you my nigga, man. Good stuff, folks. But I mean, it was a very long drive there. Well, it took me 6 hours to get there. But then I went on the back roads and cut off about an hour's time. But still 5 hours. It's a 5-hour drive. But fortunately, you could take North 85 just practically all the way and you're good. So even though it's 5 hours, it's all highway miles. Well, Tim is my Aunt Sarah Ann, or technically my cousin Sarah Ann's husband there. You know, and he smoked those wine Blackie Mild ones there. Look, Quick Pump, you know, they're not typically the ones I would smoke. But, you know, when you're with family, it's not really about the smoke at that point in time. It's all about chilling with family, you know. That's what it's really all about, you know. Chilling with my little cousin Calvin, who played the hell out of that piano during the funeral. Man, he was throwing down like Charlie Brown, you know. So we just rode through the funeral procession, rode through the city, you know, and everything. That big long line, we was, you know, and stuff. Just chilling, you know. That's what my Uncle George would have wanted there. You know, my Uncle George. And I'll show you. I'll show you a picture of my Uncle George. I mean, he had a fly afro, but I'm gonna tell you right now, my uncle could fish. He was all about that fishing. And folks, he didn't have no fishing pole like anyone else there. You know what I mean? The one with the little strings and everything like that. No, sir. He had one of them goddamn Tom Sawyer, you know, fishing rods. Little bamboo stick with a string on it. And he had his secret bait. I don't know what he did to the bait. But man, about an hour later, he would pull 20 catfish out of the lake. He pull it out the lake, a creek, anywhere. You know what I mean? He just go in, put the rope, yoink, yoink, yoink. And he could literally clean it in like 3 seconds. He just took a knife, did this, and cleaned it. He used the cane pole. He was doing that Tom Sawyer thing, man. I'm telling you. Mama missed my uncle. You know, he was a good man, you know. And I'm not, and you know how you go to a funeral sometimes and people will say someone's a good man? Even if they was no good, they would still say that he was a good man. No, he was a really good man. That's my Uncle George right there. That's one of his last pictures. Now, the picture I remember him as, let me see if I can find it. Hold on just a minute. Let me see if I can find one of my old school pictures of my Uncle George. Gonna be around here somewhere. Hold on a minute. Let me see if they put. Let me see if Phasian put on the pictures yet. Let me see if they put the pictures up yet. So, hold on. I'm just gonna show you the tribute page. Hold on. So it's about 9 minutes, so we're going to keep the stream going a little bit further. Y'all can see my Uncle George. You want to know why? You know, because. So, I won't do any commentary from here, folks. Big on fishing, folks. So I'm going to show you guys, hold on. So this is the picture I remember him most as here, so. There are a couple pictures of me, you know, whenever I was a kid and everything. But, yeah. That's family right there, folks. But, man, he loved that fishing. I'll tell you. And I don't mean to talk about that much, you know what I mean? So, but he was a big guy just like me, and then, you know, you get sick, and that's it, man, you know. He got real sick too, so. But I wish I had got up there in time to see him before he passed away and stuff. But you just can't. Oh yeah, we listened to Tupac there, Ski Mask. Yeah, we mostly listen to mostly country music, but yeah, we had Pac playing. I mean, you got to remember. I mean, well, not in the '80s, of course, because Pac wasn't around, but in the '90s we did. I mean, we had hip hop music playing. I mean, no different than any other black family was playing. We had the jazz. You know, we had some R&B, a whole lot of R&B. You know, but yeah. But folks, time to end the show. I do want to thank Quick Pump. I want to thank Matt. I want to thank Anonymous. I want to thank everyone that supported the channel and supported me while I was gone. You know, it's good to be back. We're going to continue to mince as always. And folks, it's good to say this once again. Peace and soul. And remember, the great one is back. So I will see you guys Tuesday. Later.